Moses said, "Choose life so that you and your descendants may live." Choose life so that you may live. This is Moses' final grand speech. Israel is gathered on the banks of the Jordan. The wandering in the wilderness is about to end. The promised land lays just in front of them. But Moses wants to encourage them. Choose life so that you and your descendants may live. It is as if he is saying, remember, we have become a people in the wilderness. And as we became a people, we learned how to be in community with each other. And as we learned how to be in community with each other, God gave us the commandments, and we have developed the Torah, all of the rules that govern our common life. Remember all of these as you go into the promised land. Don't let your affiliation with your tribe or your family divert you from a common purpose. You were already the people of Israel long before you got the 10 Commandments. They are a gift to point you into life for both you and your descendants. Moses, I think, understands the pressure, the force of this need for encouragement. For if this community doesn't stay together, they will certainly perish. If this community doesn't learn how to overcome the need to hold up their honor or the avoidance of dishonor, they will not make it. And of course, we will later see that they suffer mightily at the hands of opposing forces, the Assyrians, the Babylonians, the Egyptians. Choose life, Moses says, so that you and your descendants may live. We see a similar thrust, a similar encouragement in a slightly different tone from Jesus in the Sermon on the Mount, as it is reported in the Gospel of Matthew. This time it's not crossing over into the promised land for which the community needs to be remembered and encouraged. It is instead the Pharisees and the scribes who have taken those commandments and interpreted them very literally. As if to say, if you did the right things, it doesn't matter why you did them. And then Jesus goes after those first 5 commandments and reinterprets them. It's not just about not committing adultery. It's about honoring another person, not demonizing another person, caring for another person. It's not just avoiding divorce, which is, after all, an economic arrangement between 2 families. It's the willingness to suffer dishonor, even when divorce is permitted, for the benefit of the community, or for the benefit of the woman who, if cast out legally, would not be able to support herself or her children. It's not just about not swearing, not taking the Lord's name in vain. These words are about commercial transactions. They're about when you really mean it. Jesus is saying, always really mean it. When you say yes, let it be yes. When you say no, let it be no. Be truthful all the time. Because this is how you build community. This is how you deal with all of the distractions from community. It doesn't matter if it's permitted by the commandments. You must think about the community. Choose life, Jesus seems to be saying, so that you and your descendants may live. And when he says life, he doesn't mean be legally correct. He means be in relationship with other people that is caring and compassionate, so that the community will emerge so that the beloved community becomes real. Choose life, Jesus says, so you and your descendants may live. Now, we today have an altogether different challenge as we go about the business of building our community. No longer is it simply honor and dishonor, the need to protect our family's reputation, the need to be a member of a particular tribe. No, our society is different. We don't lead with how we're the same anymore. We lead with how we're different. What is central is our individuality. And I'm not saying this is a bad thing. I'm not saying that individual rights aren't a wonderful, society-advancing creation. I'm saying that it makes building the beloved community harder. It makes choosing life so that you and your descendants will live harder. Because you haven't chose life just because you're having a better time. You haven't chose life just because you've achieved more, own more, have a reputation that is larger. These are wonderful things. They are not life-giving, ultimately. You choose life when you're in right relationship with other people. You choose life when you give without looking for return. You choose life when you find ways for other people to choose life, despite whatever restrictions and burdens they bear. You choose life by giving life. And I think you give life when you say yes to God. I think you choose life when you say yes to God. But I don't mean raise your hand and confess that you believe in the Nicene Creed or the 39 Articles, though that would be a good thing. I mean saying yes to God by looking inside of yourself and finding God there, becoming silent long enough for all of the chatter in your own head to stop and find God's presence there. To find that presence which challenges you, guides you, nurtures you, compels you to be a different kind of person. Saying yes to God starts by turning inward and waking up. Waking up to the presence of God that is in you so that you can align yourself with it, participate with it, and live out of it. Choosing life is saying yes to God by reaching out and being in relationship with other people. It's not enough just that you found God. God needs to shine through you in ways that can be seen and felt by other people. Ways that warm them, that enlighten them, that guide them. That's what it means to choose life, to say yes to God by entering into that kind of compassionate and caring relationship with other people. It's not just us, of course. We have responsibilities. We have been given gifts, and we have responsibilities to use them to the glory of God. Around us, of course, there are always distractions. Moses had his, Jesus had his, we have ours. It's in the newspapers that you read, the social media sites that you visit, the TV that you watch, the friends that you talk to. You will have no problem identifying the distractions in any of those environments. Those things that have you choosing you or your family or your tribe instead of God. And no one is exempt. Choose life so that you and your descendants may live. Build the community, as Paul would say, so that you and your descendants may live. Find Christ praying within you, as Paul would say, so that you and your descendants may live. Choose life every day. Amen.